Taper fake guy? Well, I mean, like, Ninja's the Fortnite guy. Remember that? I mean, that was really popular. Here we go.
Correct me if I'm wrong, you blue-haired but I'm 90% sure the word fell off was created after your f***ing career.
Ninja! You ninja! you ninja! Yeah!
Brother, you are a f***ing hater and a joke. You're like 37 years old with blue hair.
If you haven't been following streamers lately, you might not know that many of them
Bro, I didn't even see some of these other ones.
don't like Ninja. It's not because of how he acts on streams,
Listen here, you little shit!
but because of some things he said. Before we dive into this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and let's get started. For those who don't know, Ninja was the top streamer on Twitch during the Fortnite craze.
Yeah.
At his peak, he averaged 125,000 viewers per stream, set records for viewership and subscriptions, and even played games with celebrities like Drake.
He was the guy.
How long have you been playing Fortnite or been a fan?
Probably like for like about a month or two, maybe.
Ninja was once at the peak of success, but then his popularity faded. Instead of supporting and showing respect to newer, more popular streamers like Kai Cenat or Stable Ronaldo, Ninja became known for his negativity. The first
To be fair, like, Stable Ronaldo, like, I forgot even why, like, they popped off on each other. Like, because it's like, I'm sure I talked about this when it happened, but I don't even fucking remember. Mixer destroyed him. So here's the thing, right, is that Ninja was already losing a lot of popularity before he went to Mixer. Like, he was already on the downswing, and you can verify this just by going to his records, right? I mean, it's easy to see. It's on Twitch Tracker. So I don't really think it's that big of it. Like, I think that, again, the problem is that people take Ninja seems to be a bad loser. And I think because of that, people keep trying to bait him for reactions when somebody does something that Ninja didn't do. He's jealous, but yeah, people say that. I don't really know how true that is, but he certainly gets clipped in ways that make it seem like it's true.
major sign of this negativity was when he criticized Stable Ronaldo during a live stream.
What do you do?
Ronaldo is like literally like 1/20th of our following in his.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like, Stable Ronaldo was talking shit about him. I mean, like, I don't what I mean, like, if somebody made a clip of me talking shit about me, I would absolutely fucking roast them. So it's like, it's easy for me to see, like, why Ninja would say this, but I forgot why Ronaldo said it in the first place. So it's like, you know, who started this shit, basically?
Irrelevant.
The payphone guy?
So we
Yeah.
should probably just keep opening games.
I love Ronaldo. Ronaldo.
Why you
That's how
He tried to be an IRL streamer and failed.
Yeah, I mean, Cloak and Tim don't want to have anything to fucking do with this shit. Like, they don't want to have to fucking deal with this. They don't want to have to fucking, like, defend, like, why am I getting involved in, like, your beef with, like, the streamer? Like, what the fuck is this? I'm trying to play the game. You know, like, what is this? Yeah.
Can you guess why Ninja said all those negative things? If you guessed that there was no real reason, you'd be right. Ninja went on a rant about another streamer just because they were less popular than him, even though there was no conflict or insult between them. It was just classic, unprovoked hating. I don't know why he did this. Even one of his friends on the live stream told him to shut up.
Oh, you're like a combination of clicks, like, oh my god, I might be good at the game, and like myth, like you went to YouTube and what happened? You know what I mean? Like, that's you right now.
All right.
What?
All right. Stop it. Yes. The Myth comment was undeserved. I've met Myth. I really like him. I like him a lot. I think he's great. What the fuck? Like, it doesn't matter how many viewers Myth gets, if he's getting 30 or 40K in Fortnite or 30 or 40 on YouTube. I still like him. I don't care about, like, I don't give a shit. Like, it doesn't matter. What is this?
I said what I said.
Shut up.
I said what I said.
Shut up.
I said what I said.
Shut up.
Just shut. Thank you.
Holy.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you.
You know what I mean, though?
What do you
No.
Do you know what I mean, though? Oh my God. Come on. I didn't even see this whole clip. This is so bad. You know, look at Cloaksy. He's like, maybe if I don't make eye contact, he'll stop talking about this.
Ronaldo.
Stop! I'm a Ronaldo fan.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes.
After the live stream, Ninja
and like
received
Tim is. If I was in that situation, that is probably exactly the way that I would act. Yeah, it's like, are you fucking kidding me, man? Can you just stop it? Yeah.
a lot of backlash and hate because he was clearly wrong. The next day, he apologized, saying he was just joking and blamed it on being drunk.
About me roasting Ronaldo yesterday, bro. Like, first off, I've watched his streams all the time. Like, I was 100% just fucking around with him. I was obviously a little tippy canoe, might have taken it a little too far, but I've been watching Ronaldo streams for years, including his IRL stuff that he's been doing.
Stable Ronaldo didn't accept Ninja's apology, and I think he was right. Tell me who would accept. If someone insults you in front of thousands of people and then tries to brush it off as a joke the next day.
Tyler Richard Blevins, still to this day, I don't give a f.
To me, I have no problem accepting apologies from people. I do. Maybe that's like a bad thing. But like if somebody is willing to apologize to me, I'm willing to just like, okay, fine, let's move on. Yeah, I don't really like holding grudges and having fights with people. It's better to move on. Well, it depends on like why, right? If the person gets a bunch of hate for why they're saying something, and then it's like it's clear that they're apologizing because they're getting a bunch of hate. It depends, right? But overall, I try to be the bigger man. And then I will just sabotage them later on in private.
If he said his sorry. If I ever, I'm not gonna say this on stream, but bro, I'm not fucking friends with you. I hope you don't think I like you. I will never fucking like you ever again. You could have 100,000 viewers, suck my.
The most interesting twist in this whole situation is that
I like it just cuts. It's not like that's the end of the clip. It just cuts the clip.
It began with Ninja dismissing Stable Ronaldo as irrelevant and claiming he didn't attract many viewers. Now, however, Stable Ronaldo consistently gets more viewers on Twitch than Ninja himself.
Well, that's true. Stable Ronaldo been popping the fuck off. I've been seeing it. He's been up at like 20K viewers. He's been getting 20, 25K viewers. He's doing all right. That's big. That's real big. That's huge. Very stable, yeah. Him and FaZe, I'm gonna be honest, like, I did say it. I said that Banks was making the right decision with FaZe. I said that he was. And it seems like him and Lacey and the other guys in FaZe, I really feel like they're putting in work. I do. He's at 13K right now. That's good for him. That's great for him. He's 13K viewers. That's huge. Yeah. Like, I know everybody tries to act like, oh, wow, well, unless you're at the top of Twitch, then you're a loser. Fuck that. No, 13K is great. That's insanely good.
That's probably the most funniest part.
FaZe are doing good right now? They are.
If you think Ninja's hate ends here, well, recently, Ninja has started targeting Kai Cenat. Everyone knows Kai is the biggest streamer on Twitch right now because of his creativity and entertainment value. It's hard to find a better overall streamer, but Ninja still manages to avoid giving anyone compliments.
Dude, Mikey, bro, Kai's literally one of the biggest streamers in the world right now, if not the biggest streamer in the world. Well, Kai's pulling 30K right now because he's sleeping, dog. Every time he wakes up and he actually starts playing Elden Ring, he's pulling anywhere from 90 to 100K. He just puts in the work, bro. He does those things. He does what I could have done if I just stayed home and streamed and didn't go to Mixer or anything like that.
Why couldn't Ninja just give a straightforward compliment? Instead, he had to add that he could have done it better, which makes the compliment feel insincere. It's like you telling—
I feel like it's not really wrong for him to have said that. And I think that also, like, you look at it from Ninja, like, from his perspective, like, people come into his chat all the time and try to, like, start drama. And, like, every once in a while, somebody like that is going to take the bait. That's wrong. I mean, I think that, like, Ninja had a lot of popularity because he was good at a video game, which really doesn't last, I think. Like, because all games, like, lose popularity and lose interest. Kai's popular because people like Kai. And I think that's, like, a much more sustainable, like, career. I think that you can look at a lot of the people that are really popular and see that in them, right? Like XQC, for example, or, and I know a lot of people in here are not Hassan fans, but like at Hassan, a lot of people really like Hassan. And so if you're making content and people like you as a person, that gives you so much more longevity than if your career is tied to a certain activity. You see what I'm saying? Like Tyler One, Queso. Yeah, Queso is a really great example. People really like Queso. He seems like a great, nice guy. That matters a lot. Whereas being good at a video game is something that people care about for a while, and then they just lose interest in, because at the end of the day, it's just a video game. That's it.
Your parents, hey mom and dad, I got a 98 on my math test, and then they respond with, that's great, but back in my day I used to get a 100.
No, that's not what my parents would do. I'd get a 98 on my math test and my dad would ask me, what'd you miss? Yeah, I know. Real funny story with that.
It's like, who cares about what you used to do? It's totally unnecessary, and on top of that, it's not fair because Ninja couldn't do what Kai is doing. Let me give you the reason. Ninja was famous for being good at Fortnite, not for being entertaining. His popularity came mainly from Fortnite's
Ninja was entertaining. I would say that he was entertaining. Sure.
Popularity. On the other hand, Kai can attract huge views no matter what he's doing. For example, he once streamed from the back of a U-Haul truck and still got tons of viewers. How could you have done that, man? This isn't the first instance of Ninja being
I think that Kai is popular because he's really dynamic and he works hard and he tries to deliver different content regularly. And I think that's really one of the big reasons why he's popular. So like he's doing streams with different people. He's going to different places, right? Like there's a degree of when he goes live, you don't entirely know what's going to happen. Yeah, big collabs. Yeah, obviously that kind of stuff helps out a lot too. Yeah, he's innovating, doing something like that. Holy Glaze. Well, yeah, I think he's doing a great job. I do. I think that he's doing a great job. And also like, I try to look at what people do that works really well, because I think about how can I emulate a degree of that success in myself. Like I see what somebody else is doing. It's like, okay, like I think this is working because of this. Maybe I should try and do something similar to this. You know, like that, and that's smart, right? IShowSpeed is another great example. IShowSpeed, crazy energy, like literally, and also just, you know, the normal phrase of crazy, right? Yeah, very much crazy energy. He does all kinds of just crazy stuff. It's like, okay, every day he's in a different country doing all kinds of different things, and you never really know what you're gonna expect. They're young, it's normal. Well, yeah, but that's a good thing, right? I mean, like for me, I find this to be great, right? I think it's really good to see new streamers, because I feel like for a long time, like Twitch was very stale, and then I felt like it was stale, and then I guess like Aiden Ross was really the first one who started coming up from that community, and then you saw people like Your Rage, Bruce, Kai. And now you're seeing like a lot of the FaZe guys like Lacey and Stable Ronaldo. Like you're seeing these guys do well and succeed, and I'm really happy to see that. I am, because I feel like it means that the ecosystem and the culture is alive, right? Rather than just the same people that are only popular and then that's all it is all the time.
Of showing negativity towards Kai. Recently, Ninja's reaction to Kai breaking his viewership record on Twitch has led to more speculation about Ninja's attitude towards Kai. It's clear.
And also, by the way, I want to say a lot of people saying like, oh, they're not entertaining to me. That's because you're not the target audience. Like a lot of the people that watch my stream, real talk, are older guys. A lot of the people that watch their streams are younger on average. So like yeah, I'm not target. I'm 34, right? And so like a lot of people that are 34 aren't thinking about things the same way like a 21-year-old is thinking about things. Duh, right? I mean, of course, that's normal. So no, and so like I don't think that's bad, right? It's not like it's like that's inferior or worse or anything like that. It's just different. Yeah, and so like just because you don't watch something, you know, because you don't find it entertaining, doesn't mean that it's not entertaining for a lot of people. A lot of people love that stuff.
from his response that he might be feeling a bit frustrated or envious.
Kai beat your most viewer record last night? Hayden, the highest viewer record on Twitch is 3.34 million. Should I just make that my title, bro? Am I supposed to be offended, guys? Just put it in sub mode, man. It's a matter of time. Guys, probably the biggest streamer in the world right now. American, at least. FaceTiming LeBron James, dude.
I just want to point out that Ninja doesn't have to respond to this kind of news. He could easily ignore it, but he chooses to talk about it every time.
I'm live for 8 minutes. Yeah. I've had hundreds of people tell me my record's been broken, right, guys? As of October 2023, first off, again, congratulations to Kai for beating my record. My record was like, what, 640? Something like that. As of October 2023, Twitch streamer...
Nobody gives a shit, but he beat my record that day, too. Made me fucking mad. It was 450. Yeah. Yeah, I have 450K. That beat me. Son of a bitch.
iBuy holds the record for most concurrent viewers on a Twitch stream with 3.44 million. So, almost there, guys. We both just have to get 3.5 million viewers. No record got broken last night, except for...
He's trying to downplay the achievement again by saying that no record was actually broken. But honestly,
I think it was the Kevin Hart stream.
This is the thing, okay? Bro, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing with Ninja, bro.
Here we go.
And this is the most respectful way possible, okay? I don't blame Ninja for being mad at like people coming in his chat and saying that and spamming that and like that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're just agitators, and they actually like, and that's also like, it's real good. Like I remember whenever this happened, I talked about this. Is like it's real good that Kai like acknowledges that, because like the truth is that, like the people that are coming into Ninja's chat, they're probably not even Kai fans. They're just like Ninja anti-fans. They don't like Ninja. Like they don't give a shit about Kai. They're just there to talk shit about Ninja, and this is the way that they're doing it.
It could be pretty annoying, but
yeah, no doubt.
It's just like certain shit he don't gotta say. You feel what I'm saying? Like, if you guys go back to the clips of every time where I broke a record or every time where I passed quote-unquote Ninja, he's always backhanded complimenting me, bro. I don't think if you guys notice and see the pattern, he's always like said like congrats to him, but this happened. Like, bro, you probably don't even have to address it. When they spam some crazy chat, my mind's no sub only, just leave it alone, just keep it moving.
Kai is right. After this, you'd think Ninja would stop commenting on things about Kai, especially since he's been publicly called out and received some backlash. But no, he keeps going.
Jake is talking about all these Fortnite guys who are beating Minecraft all the way through on the hardest level in like 3 hours. Guys speed around like day 4.
Yeah, bro, those guys, I mean, they're doing it for pure entertainment, bro. They're also, it's like very much like Tim the Tap Man in his Fall Guys thing where, he was getting like hundreds of thousands of viewers because he couldn't get his first Fall Guys win. It's one of those things where it's like, dude, Kai's pulling anywhere from 250,000 to plus viewers playing this shit. It's like, dude, they don't want to win. They don't want to.
God.
For those who don't know, Kai and Speed recently did a live stream trying...
I need your help.
Always got something to say, man. Like, it's... Oh, man. It's just, what are you doing? I remember Tim was so mad. Yeah, that was a really crazy month. Yeah.
Trying to beat Minecraft, but they weren't very good at it. In one clip, Ninja was basically saying that Kai and Speed were dying on purpose for the entertainment. While Ninja wasn't saying anything extremely negative, it feels like he never has anything good to say about Kai. From Kai's point...
It feels like whenever he does, there's always a qualifier. It's good for... it's good, but if I was, or except, but, it's one of those things, right?
To view, that must be really frustrating. Imagine another streamer constantly criticizing you even when you haven't done anything wrong. Kai responded to Ninja's comment in a way that Ninja probably didn't expect.
I knew y'all gonna be back. What's up? Dying on purpose. What you dying on purpose? Hey, what's the big camera?
Who's a dying on purpose?
Ninja! You Ninja! You talking about if I'm dying on purpose and shit. You think I want to be playing Minecraft for 5 days? You gonna get on your too, Ninja. Every fucking thing I do, you riding dick. Yeah. You. When I say, you say Ninja. Ninja! Ninja!
So Ninja, man, you need to stop talking about Kai and just focus on streaming. Find ways to...
The problem is it takes it too seriously, right? I mean, like, okay, it's like, that's it's funny. Like, I feel like people, like, when you lose when you start to take shit seriously. And like when you don't take things seriously and you just try to have fun and just pace yourself and enjoy yourself, everything's fine. But like the moment that you try to make everything, you know, like this serious thing that matters, like why so serious? Exactly. Like, yeah, just take a step back. Like it's just entertainment. It's funny.
Entertain people rather than just being
It's
known for
entertainment.
hating. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and subscribe. And don't forget to share your
this guy's
thoughts
right.
on the comment section below.
I think also a lot of people, like,
If I'm wrong, you blue-haired but I'm 90% sure the word fell off was created after your f***ing career.
Ninja!
this is just, bro, this shit was so fucking funny. I remember whenever that would happen. It's nuts. This is a good video. This is slap on it. I know. I just think it's funny to see, man. It really is.
This AI tool will create a stunning ebook direct from your content, whether it's a Microsoft Word document.
For almost 4 years, champs, the public demanded to hear from the doc regarding the Twitch suspension. I guess since you all right, missed the point with my personal statement,
here we go.
I think it's time to tell my side of the story.
Yes! 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 Yes!
See, there was a lawsuit pending, and as part of that arbitration, all parties were not allowed to speak publicly about the case.
Okay. Right?
I respected those rules.
True.
My lawsuit against Twitch was eventually resolved, as you all know. But even then, as part of the settlement, all parties were still prohibited from speaking publicly about the case or the settlement.
Right.
However, if one side violated that confidentiality,
then you can
then the
say
other
it's
side
like-
could respond.
That's right. Okay.
And again,
Now this is all right. Let's go.
Again, I respected all the confidential obligations.
That's right.
But apparently Twitch's own disgruntled employees didn't feel the need to abide by those same obligations.
Oh.
Cody Connors,
By name.
ex-Twitch employee,
By name.
wasn't even involved. Leaks Twitch's reported reason. Years later, Cody, why do this? What was the point? This was settled professionally. And you, knowing how black and white the internet is, you decided you fucking rat to leak the reported reason Twitch banned me in 2020.
Okay.
Well, I mean, for what?
Call the
Cody?
rat.
Why? Did you not know the repercussions from spewing lies about the two-time? Did you not know the repercussions
Lies?
of accusing me, Cody Connors?
But didn't you?
You see, you don't know shit, and it was obvious from your tweets. You didn't have any first-hand knowledge of my dispute with Twitch. You said that I got banned from Twitch because I was sexting a minor through Whisper's messages?
That's
Do you
what
even
was
know what
said.
the legal definition of sexting is? I do. And yeah, I used Twitch's Whispers, but trust me, I wasn't sexting anyone. You also
Okay.
said the word minor, Cody. I even made sure that word was emphasized in my statement, edited, etc., just to make sure these so-called journalists would pick up on it. And boy, oh boy, did they ever, champs. When you and all these so-called journalists, Cody, fired off your tweets, Did any of you consider that the Twitch user may have been over the legal age of consent at the time of the messages? You didn't. Neither did any of these journalists, and neither did Twitch at the time of the ban. You also tried to tell the world that I was trying to meet up with this user at TwitchCon, but you're wrong.
True.
Let's set the record straight. I never intended to meet this user ever. We never made plans to meet at TwitchCon or anywhere else, and in fact, we never met in person ever.
Uh-huh.
Your bullshit accusations gave false courage to other former Twitch employees to make shit up as well. I suspect all of you sort of planned, coordinated this attack. These big-time publications, these journalists, these various outlets are sort of just gossip channels now, don't you think, champs? They act like they're just gossip channels now, without any real journalism and real research happening.
Well, then what's your side?
They report on all this based on leaks from 2 former Twitch employees, one of whom was supposedly on the trust and safety team.
What happened?
If these anonymous sources worked on the trust and safety team at the time of my Twitch suspension in 2020, then you would hope they would tell the truth.
And what was the truth?
But apparently that's just too much to ask.
Where's the truth?
If these former trust and safety team members, and by the way, I know exactly who they are, actually had firsthand knowledge, then what they conveniently left out is, 1, Twitch's trust and safety team, the same employees that decided to ban me, internally admitted that the whisper messages were not sexting. And 2, Twitch's trust and safety team, the same employees that decided to ban me, internally acknowledged that the whispers did not constitute child sexual abuse material CSAM. I'll say it again. Neither I nor the Twitch user exchanged any sexual graphic messages or images. Cody Connors and these other anonymous sources are trying to paint a picture that I was exchanging sexually explicit messages and photos with this Twitch user. That never happened. I even used the word inappropriate, purposely. And look at how it's defined by everyone, champs. Huh? Including these defaming articles. I'm sorry, but mutual bantering with inappropriate jokes taken out of context should have never led to me getting banned from Twitch in the first place. I mean, how would each of you look if all of your private DMs, your text messages, your chats were looked at, dissected, and taken out of context by someone who's deliberately trying to find something inappropriate in those words?
So what,
And this is not a situation where a victim publicly accuses someone of wrongdoing. That never happened here.
Okay.
We're talking about allegations that Twitch made against me as a half-baked reason for justifying their actions of suspending and shutting down my channel. Allegations that Twitch made without even a legal analysis of whether the whisper messages were legal! You see, I engage with my community. I engage with other streamers. And through Twitch Whispers, I communicate with Twitch users. Conversations that consisted of a variety of playing games, gaming politics, content creation, random stuff. This was the extent of my whispers with this Twitch user. On June 21st, 2020, my ex-Twitch partner manager learns that I exchanged whispers with the Twitch user. And I say ex-partner manager because
battleship sunk. Enemy battleship detected. Enemy submarine spotted. Attention. Reporting the target position. Enemy heavily damaged. battleship foundered. Intelligence data.
For years, this guy didn't do anything for me, my community, or my channel. For years. I'm talking no front page love. You're talking about the face of the platform, right?
Things are once again getting a lot worse for Mr. Beast right now. Just as everything seemed like it was starting to cool off regarding Mr. Beast, a huge class action lawsuit has just been revealed regarding Mr. Beast, Amazon, and Beast Games. Around the same time of this, there has also been a lot of backlash towards Mr. Beast as he announced a new product with Logan Paul and KSI called Lunchly. I'm going to go over that really quick so we can get to the issue with the lawsuit. So this situation went viral on Twitter. Dexerto posted Mr. Beast, KSI, and Logan Paul are releasing Lunchly, a Lunchables competitor. It will feature Prime, Feastables, chocolate, and a variation of food. And then it looks like they shared some prototypes. There's one with turkey and cheese and crackers, another one with nachos, and then one with pizza, and then each one features a chocolate Feastables bar and a Prime drink. A popular creator known as Dan TDM made a quote tweet of this and stated, "What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better." To which Logan Paul chimed in and stated, "I'll tell you what happened to YouTubers. We spent part of our lives creating content and building our brands. Now we want to build businesses. You didn't say anything when Lunchables faces bans for allegedly containing lead, but when we create a better version, you're upset? Then don't eat it." This entire issue does not even compare to the severity of what we're about to get into. And I know that one thing being worse than the other doesn't make the other thing okay, but the biggest issue I find in this is the fact that Mr. Beast replied to a tweet by Drama Alert and stated, "YouTubers are not happy with Mr. Beast, KSI, and Logan Paul's new product." He quickly replies to this, but has been radio silent to everything else going on, at least at the time of recording this video. Lunchables sells hundreds of millions of units, and countless people eat it. Our goal is to give people a better-for-you alternative to it. Our turkey meal, for example, is 80 less calories, 60% less sugar, more electrolytes. We use real cheese, they use cheese product, they can't call it cheese, higher quality meat, etc. Obviously, eating fresh chicken and broccoli is healthier, but if someone is going to eat a pre-made meal like this, which millions of people do through Lunchables, then I think giving them a higher quality version at roughly the same price is a net good, and why we launched Lunchly. Also, as we get economies of scale and can get things cheaper, we will be only improving the product more and more. The only thing I can say here is that I don't think he has a lot of trust with people right now, not just because of the elephant in the room, but also because he tried this pitch with his chocolate. There was a different recipe when he first launched it, pitched it as something that is healthier than alternative chocolates, and then eventually it became just as unhealthy, if not worse, than chocolates like Hershey's, for example. There is a lot more that I can say and get into regarding the Lunchly issue, as many other large creators have spoken their minds about this situation, and I'm sure as time goes on, this will probably lead down a huge rabbit hole. But for now, I really want to dive into this lawsuit, which is over 50 pages long. I'm going to be highlighting what I find to be the most interesting parts of this, and there are quite a lot. So let's just get started, because we're going to be here for a little while.
I took two things that I love, dancing and dogs, and I made them into a successful business. Hi, I'm Ronnie. I'm the owner of Ketatov, and I teach people all over the world how to dance with their dogs on my website. I was searching for a platform where I can really manage my business, a place that can help me share my knowledge and create a community around dog dance. And I found that in Tips. I have 4 dogs, Bailey, Tessa, Marta, and Rhythm. Rhythm is a dancer. I'm so passionate about dogs and dog dance. It's the most amazing sport in the world. You're learning to communicate in a whole different level with your dog. As soon as I posted, now I'm opening an online course website. Immediately people responded. They started registering, they started asking questions about it, and at this point of time, the online courses are the main part of the business. I have clients from Japan and Canada and the US and Europe and like all over the world. The fact that in such a short time I was able to build my own business, reach so many people around the world, and create such an echo about dog dance, that's something that makes me super proud.
Why do you need travel insurance? Let's break it down into two easy parts. Smart travelers buy travel insurance to protect their trip investment before they leave, also to protect them and their investment during their trip. To protect against losing trip costs that are prepaid and non-refundable if something unforeseen happens before you leave, you'll want trip cancellation insurance. What does trip cancellation insurance cover? While coverage varies by plan, many will cover you if you have to cancel for a covered reason, such as severe weather, or you, a family member, or traveling companion getting sick. What about coverage during the trip? Once you've left on your trip, you can still face a lot of unexpected dilemmas. For medical emergencies, travel medical and emergency evacuation benefits can help cover the substantial medical costs incurred and get you home safely. Baggage loss and baggage delay benefits can cover you in case your personal effects are lost, stolen, or delayed. Trip interruption coverage can cover your remaining trip costs if you need to interrupt your trip and return home for a covered reason. Compare and buy travel insurance at travelinsurance.com to find the right plan at the right price for your trip every time.
So right off the bat on the first page, you can kind of get a glimpse of what this is going to be about. There is a list of 14 complaints, including failure to pay minimum wages, liquidated damages for failure to pay minimum wages, failure to pay overtime, sexual harassment, failure to prevent harassment, negligent infliction of emotional distress, failure to provide uninterrupted meal breaks, failure to provide uninterrupted rest breaks, failure to pay wages promptly upon termination, failure to provide accurate itemized wage settlements, failure to identify for employee expenses and losses in discharging duties, unfair business practices, false advertising, and declaratory relief. And it does state that a jury trial is demanded. Now, moving on to the table of contents in section 4, it states facts going into the contestants engaged in what appeared to be a thorough application and vetting process for Beast Games. The contestant agreements that the Beast entered into with production defendants included redacted. There's a lot of redacted information in this, by the way, just letting you know now. Some pages are completely blanked out. The contestants were employees under California law, but defendants intentionally misclassified them to defendants' economic advantage. And this becomes a bigger issue later on. The contestants were not volunteers. The contestants were promised and received compensation in exchange for their services. The contestants had no autonomy. Defendants exercised complete control. The contestants performed work that was in the usual course and scope of defendants' businesses. The contestants are not customarily engaged in an independently established business of the same nature as the work performed for defendants. Continuing, it states defendants misclassified the contestants redacted to avoid their employment obligations under California law and to wrongfully receive unearned tax credits from Nevada. I'm not any type of professional in this, but that sounds very, very illegal. Defendants required the contestants to sign an unconscionable agreement with illegal and unenforceable terms. Defendants failed to provide a safe and healthful place of employment to the particular and collective detriment of the female contestants who suffered harassment. Purported How to Succeed in Mr. Beast Production handbook states that it's okay for the boys to be childish, and if talent wants to draw it on the whiteboard in the video or do something stupid, let them. Really do everything you can to empower the boys when filming and help them make content. Help them be idiots. Helping quote-unquote the boys make content apparently translated to redacted. Beast Games created hostile conditions where women were forced to endure severe embarrassment and unfair disadvantage of blank. Defendants made multiple false statements to the contestants in connection with Beast Games prior to the start of the competition. Defendants falsely advertised that the competition would have 1,000 contestants. Redacted in this cut the odds of winning blank of what was originally advertised. Defendants misrepresented that redacted. The Beast Games Productions was so void of standards and reasonable care that Mr. Beast allegedly offered to cover the contestants' therapy, plaintiffs' individual experiences. So I'm going to go over the introduction with you, and then we're going to highlight some interesting points throughout the rest of the lawsuit because, again, it's 50 pages long. There is a lot of legal speak in this, and I want to try to make this as digestible as possible for you. And then at the end of this, we're going to go over my thoughts on everything. Plaintiffs bring this action on behalf of themselves and a proposed class consisting of all individuals who are engaged as purported contestants in the Beast Games content production in Redacted. Defendant production companies and Amazon shamelessly exploited the labor of approximately blank people who served as contestants on the forthcoming $100 million Mr. Beast Amazon production Beast Games, which Amazon promotes as the world's largest live game show with the, quote, biggest single prize in the history of television and streaming. The Beast Games entertainment value arises directly from the physical and emotional labor of the contestants who compete under pressure cooker conditions for life-changing prize money, with one person purportedly to win $5 million at stake. Defendant MRB 2024 LLC is a production company believed to be owned by the whole part, directly or indirectly, by James Jimmy Donaldson, the creator and face of the YouTube-originated Mr. Beast brand. Mr. Donaldson, aka Mr. Beast, is a 26-year-old content creator who, on information and belief, has the most YouTube subscribers in the world and is the first YouTube billionaire. The Mr. Beast entertainment empire produces stunt philanthropy, which typically features Mr. Beast performing corporate-sponsored, attention-getting philanthropy for publicity. The business model essentially is that Mr. Beast performs giving away some corporate money, whether pellets of cash, cars, or even houses to strangers or followers, and as corporate sponsors compensate him with even more corporate money.
What's up, y'all? It's OJ. Cookie Run Tower of Adventures is here. And with Google Play Games, I can sync the game from my phone to my PC. I get the freedom to play on keyboard, mouse, or controller, and I get to play with my friends on the bigger screen. Download Google Play Games and play Cookie Run Tower of Adventures on PC.
Bluehost's AI tools instantly turn your words into a WordPress website. Designs unique to you, quick loading, totally customizable. Whatever kind of site you need, Bluehost AI builds it for you.
Defendant Amazon Alternative LLC is, on information and belief, the unscripted television division of Amazon Studios, which reportedly was previously run by Mark Burnett at MGM Worldwide Television Group before Amazon Studios acquired the division in the Amazon-MGM merger. Amazon Alternative creates content for Amazon's Prime streaming service, which boasts over 200 million paid subscribers. These two commercial giants, Mr. Beast and Amazon, partnered with production company Defendant Off One's Base LLC to produce Beast Games, which would be filmed in Redacted. Mr. Donaldson, who has publicly represented that all Mr. Beast contestants get paid if they compete for just 5 minutes, gushed to his fans online about the bigger-than-ever scale of the Amazon-sponsored Beast Games, stating that money was not a constraint, and that Amazon had given Mr. Donaldson all creative control and the ability to do whatever he wanted. Unfortunately, the supposedly magnanimous Mr. Beast did not want to use the alleged unconstrained resources to provide fair wages or even bare minimum legal working conditions to the blank contestants whose labor compromised the core commercial value of Beast Games. Instead, defendants employed superior bargaining power to coerce the contestants to sign unconscionable contracts with illegal terms and illusory obligations, and also knowingly mischaracterized the contestants blank to avoid defendants' employment obligations under California law. So what they're basically saying, if I'm reading this correctly, is that they hired people to have the contestants sign essentially predatory contracts that would ultimately screw them over. Defendants knowingly misclassified the contestants blank, in part to obtain a tax credit for $2,252,523 from the state of Nevada, which defendants, on information and belief, would not have received if they had disclosed the production's actual labor costs, including the significant labor of the blank contestants in the budget they presented to the Nevada Film Commission with their tax credit application. If I were Jimmy, I'd be a little bit worried there. Defendants then included redacted to serve as contestants on their $100 million production based on a false representation that 1,000 people would be competing to win a $5 million prize, announcing only upon the contestants' arrival, redacted, reducing the contestants' odds of winning blank before the competition began. If I remember correctly, because people were discussing this prior to this lawsuit, I believe the accusation was there were actually more than 1,000 contestants, but they were told that there would only be 1,000 contestants. Therefore, with more people, it would reduce each individual contestant's chances of winning the $5 million prize. Defendants further relied on misclassification as a false justification to avoid paying employment taxes and spare the production the cost of implementing various employment protections required under California law, including minimum wages, overtime, mandatory meal and rest breaks, workers' compensation benefits, itemized wage statements, and timely payment of wages and reimbursement, among other things. This might be one of the biggest takeaways from the lawsuit that we see throughout this entire thing. This is definitely a highlight for sure, because this is a really big accusation. The tax thing is also a really huge accusation, to be fair. Defendants then subjected the contestants to unreasonable, unsafe, and unlawful employment conditions. On blank, defendants began the Beast Games by blank, where the contestants were held under strict control and surveillance for days on end. The rest is redacted. During the Beast Games engagement, the on-set production staff maintained the strictest control over the contestants, redacted, denying them all privacy and access to the outside world. The contestants were fed sporadically and sparsely. They were not given adequate access to hygienic products or medical care. The New York Times reported that over a dozen people who participated in the first installment of Beast Games said they had not received adequate food or medical care, and that some competitors had suffered injuries from the physical challenges. The female contestants particularly and collectively suffered as a result of the defendants' actions. The Beast Games work environment systematically fostered a culture of misogyny and sexism where production staff did nothing while redacted. Female contestants were also denied blank, which I know this is redacted, but it was also made public in other videos and articles. I believe this is regarding someone who was denied their feminine hygiene products and their underwear, and I'm only sharing this because this has been made public in articles and in other YouTube videos and in my previous YouTube video as well, which is really messed up, by the way. But it continues to say, defendants callously dismissed blank, which again I assume is referring to that situation. Defendants' violations of California law have caused common injuries in fact that are regrettable and conductive to resolution as a class action where all of the following material facts are common to all contestants. Defendants offered the contestants equivalent compensation for equivalent labor. Defendants misclassified the contestants in a uniform manner. Defendants subjected all of the contestants to the same material working conditions, including a hostile work environment for the female contestants. Defendants have improperly denied or delayed the contestants overdue wages, penalties, and/or reimbursements. The plaintiffs have filed this action using pseudonyms and applying conservative redactions that limit public viewing in a good faith effort to comply with defendants' overboard confidentiality provisions, which plaintiffs allege are unenforceable, as well as to preserve the confidentiality and privacy interests of the plaintiffs who wish to avoid opprobrium. That definitely makes sense, but as I mentioned earlier, there are some things that I've noticed were redacted in this lawsuit that were made public on other forms of media, not just social media, but in mainstream media as well, such as mainstream news outlets. My best guess as somebody who is not a lawyer or a professional in the legal field is that for those things that have been made public before but are redacted in this lawsuit, there probably is a legal reason as to why, unless in those redacted points they have named the individuals affected, in which case would make a lot more sense because even in the news outlets they were not named, so it is very possible that that could be why it's been redacted in this lawsuit, but there had previously been public mentions of it. So now we're going to go into some of the details and the highlights of all of the information that I had just read to you in this lawsuit. I'm going to try my best to do this in the most digestible way possible, and if there is something that seems extremely confusing as I'm reading it, I'll try to rephrase it in a more understandable way because legal speak should in some cases be considered another language.
Why don't you explain this to me like I'm 5?
Which, by the way, being a victim of a serious injury isn't just a painful experience, it can also be an extremely stressful one. One day, a teacher was on her way home from work while she was getting off of the highway and heading towards a stoplight. When she approached the stoplight, her car was rear-ended by a distracted driver. This caused her 2 injuries, one in an area between her spine and her pelvis, and another injury in her neck. Due to these injuries, she was having trouble with stability and pain management, especially while sitting and walking. And this ultimately affected her ability to continue doing her job that she loved, teaching her class. When fighting for compensation, she was originally offered $200,000 for her life-altering injuries. But with Morgan & Morgan fighting for her, they took the case to trial and they ended up achieving $2.6 million instead. If you've ever gotten into an accident, your injury could be worth millions, and Morgan & Morgan has your back if you become their client. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm with over 1,000 lawyers working in all 50 states. And with dealing with cases, Morgan & Morgan doesn't just settle for lowball offers either. Morgan & Morgan has achieved significant verdicts for victims involved in life-altering injuries. This includes over $12 million in Florida, being 34 times the highest insurance offer, and $26 million in Philadelphia, being 40 times the highest insurance offer. And the best part is, the fee is completely free unless you win your case. That means no expensive upfront charges. So like I said, if you ever got seriously hurt, your case could be worth millions. And you're only a few clicks away from potentially changing your life. And it's so easy to do. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan at forthepeople.com/Mimi. You can find the link in the description below. Thank you so much to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring today's video. The contestants engaged in what appeared to be a thorough application and vetting process for Beast Games. The contestants who were selected and agreed to serve as contestants on the Beast Games 2024 production participated in what at the time appeared to be a thorough application and contestant vetting process. Once accepted, the contestants were required to put their lives on hold to provide labor exclusivity for defendants in exchange for compensation and a chance to win a $5 million prize on Beast Games. The contestants incurred supposedly reimbursable business-related travel expenses for which many, including contestant 2 and contestant 3, have not yet been reimbursed. The contestants were employees under California law, but defendants intentionally misclassified them to defendants' economic advantage. Defendants wrongfully and willfully misclassified and, on information and belief, continue to wrongfully misclassify the contestants redacted, although they should legally be classified as employees. The contestant agreement states on its face that the contestants blank, but the agreement was in fact an employment agreement whereby defendants Amazon, Off One's Base, and Mr. Beast were the actual employers of the contestant employees. The contestants were not volunteers. The contestants were promised and received compensation in exchange for their services. On information and belief, each of the defendants is a for-profit company in the business of making audio-visual programming, including for the distribution on the video platform YouTube and Amazon Prime Video, among other video platforms. The contestants were promised and received compensation in exchange for their redacted on the Beast Games production. Additionally, Mr. Donaldson made public statements online that he had unconstrained control over Beast Games, and Donaldson had established a pattern and practice of compensating everyone who competes in the Mr. Beast competitions, win or lose, even if they competed for only 5 minutes. The contestants were not working for free for the Beast Games for any humanitarian or any other public service or charitable objective. Defendants hired the contestants to work as contestants on a reality competition show. The contestants, in reality, were the essential labor component to the entire production. Their work on the show was the entertainment product that the defendants were marketing and selling for public consumption and profit. The contestants were told that if they had accepted the opportunity to work for defendants, they would have to be available for blank, and while they were working for the defendants, they would not be able to accept any other employment. Defendants compensated the contestants throughout the course of Beast Games production with both in-kind compensation as well as cash compensation, with defendants promising blank to every contestant that blank. Defendants have since requested, and plaintiffs had provided blank from the contestants to pay them to also reimburse them for their expenses. Contestants 2 and 3 have to date still not been reimbursed for out-of-pocket expenses they incurred for blank. As a result of the combination of foregoing, the contestants cannot be properly characterized blank. Rather, they were at all relevant times employees who worked at the direction and control of each of the defendants, and for these defendants, ultimate profit. So I really think what they're trying to get at here is the accusation that these contestants weren't treated as employees, but by all legal definition, they were employees, and this goes into the accusation of allegedly misclassifying them as non-employees for tax reasons. I'm hoping to see more of that later on in this document, but continuing.
Well, the gang's all here. Let's hit the road.
It's the Disney Plus Blockbuster offer.
That's right.
$1.99 a month for 3 months of Disney Plus.
That's a great idea.
Get the hottest shows.
Great, you can say that again.
Biggest movies.
Ready? Hit it!
And most epic events.
The contestants had no autonomy. Defendants exercised complete control. Defendants exercised total control over the manner, means, and timing of the work performed by the contestants by controlling essentially every aspect of their lives during the production of the show. And pretty much every example in the next part of this is redacted, so we're going to move on. When and where. Defendants required the contestants to be physically present on specific dates and times around the clock at locations dictated, controlled, and supervised by defendants, and which dates and locations blank. Defendants further required plaintiffs to dedicate all of their time to the production during the production period, requiring them to miss work if they had other jobs. So much of this page is redacted that it's nearly impossible to read coherently, so basically I'll sum it up as there seemed to have been a lot of control by the staff, even with the contestants' privacy. Under the section Control Over Meals, you can actually read one full sentence that states, "The limited sustenance that defendants provided afforded an unreasonable and insufficient caloric intake which collectively and in a uniform manner endangered the health and welfare of the contestants." In other words, they were claiming that the production team was not feeding the contestants proper meals and they were going hungry, which is something that again was discussed publicly in different articles, outlets, and social media posts. There's also a mention of control over clothing, control over sleeping arrangements, claiming that defendants controlled where, how, and whether the contestants slept. Contestants were filed into redacted where they slept overnight in blank. There's so much redacted. Control over medications and recreational substances, and again, there has been very public mention of this in mainstream media outlets that there were contestants that claimed they did not get their medications on time. The contestants were exposed to dangerous circumstances and conditions as a condition of their employment. Even without considering whatever confidential conditions existed behind closed doors while the Beast Games was being filmed, the contestants were subjected to dangerous conditions within the course of their employment. As local news reported, many contestants found it was the poor set conditions rather than the challenges themselves that proved to be the main difficulty. The contestants were penned into enclosed spaces with blank under conditions where they were underfed, overtired, blank, and competing in stressful and exhausting challenges for a cash prize that could change their lives. The danger, moreover, was exacerbated by defendants' seeming failure to conduct background checks. There is one unredacted post, which is a tweet from Rosanna Pansino that states, "I have received confirmation from 5 verified contestants that the first round of Beast Games, a man named Armani was allowed to compete." I've gone over this in my previous video. This is about somebody else who was allegedly very creepy on the Mr. Beast team. He was previously charged with at least 20 counts for battery, kidnapping, pandering or pimping, and robbery. He pled guilty to the pimping charge, acknowledging the significant evidence against him. He allegedly also slept near female contestants before being kicked off the set for inappropriate behavior. Some of the female contestants confirmed being very uncomfortable around him. He is also friends with Jake Paul and other influencers. Why was there not adequate background checks to catch people like this? On information and belief, there was insufficient medical staff to attend to potential and actual injuries during the production. There were several reports of injuries. For example, in an online article, Scott Robin of Vital Vegas reported on July 19, 2024, that in a concerning twist to this story, a source claims Desert Springs Hospital has seen countless patients today coming from Beast Games due to lack of food and water. I'm skipping down to the 15th page where it states defendants misclassified the contestants blank to avoid their employment obligations under California law and to wrongfully receive unearned tax credits from Nevada. From on or about blank, the contestants worked a non-stop, continuous stretch of employment for defendants during the production. From between Redacted, with individuals working non-stop periods of employment around the clock starting on Redacted, reasonably assuming a significant number of contestants were non-Nevada residents, defendants would likely not meet the requirement that the percentage of Nevada to total qualified expenditures exceeded 60%. Moreover, defendants later required the contestants to complete blank, suggesting they intend to write off the contestants' wages as expenses in an attempt to have their cake and eat it too. In other words, fudging the true labor costs by labeling the contestants blank to obtain the state of the Nevada tax credit, saving money on employment wages, benefits, and employment taxes by misclassifying the contestants and deducting the contestant labor as expenses after the fact. And a form is attached in this document. Defendants required the contestants to sign an unconscionable agreement with illegal and unenforceable terms. As a condition of their employment, defendants required each contestant to enter into a contract of adhesion that was drafted by defendants, which plaintiffs and the proposed class were given to sign under the expedient circumstances. On or about June 6th, 2024, on information and belief, the application period for Beast Games opened. There's more redacted information to compete in the unprecedented Beast Games. Defendants enjoyed superior bargaining power and used it to impose terms and conditions that are unlawful under California law, including Labor Code Section 432.5. Then there is a lot more redaction and legal speak, so we're going to skip down more. Defendants failed to provide a safe and healthful place of employment to the particular and collective detriment of the female contestants who suffered harassment. Production defendants created working conditions that jeopardized the safety of workers, including by not providing sufficient food or drink, taking away access to blank, not having adequate medical staff on site, and not providing reasonable medical care, forcing them not to sleep, and forcing them to participate in games that unreasonably risk physical and mental injury. I'm wondering if that redacted is the feminine hygiene products, but I'm not sure. Again, that was made very, very public, and that's the only reason why I'm bringing that up. I just find it so weird that they're not mentioning it, but there has to be some legal reason or something as to why it's not mentioned in this lawsuit, but it is a very public and well-known thing. Production defendants additionally created a toxic and hostile work environment for, in particular, female contestants who suffered blank, as well as harassment throughout the production, as more fully detailed below, which was not only noticed but allowed and even blanked by the production defendants blank. And apparently this was allowed because of marching orders from the top. It then goes over the Mr. Beast handbook, which we have gone over in a previous video, but I'm going to read part of this out anyway. Purported How to Succeed in Mr. Beast Production Handbook states that it's okay for the boys to be childish, and if talent wants to draw a dick on the whiteboard in the video or do something stupid, let them. Really do everything you can to empower the boys when filming and help them make content. Help them be idiots. A document that appears to be a Mr. Beast employee handbook written in the first person from what appears to be Mr. Donaldson's perspective, titled How to Succeed in Mr. Beast Production, was published on the internet on August 13th, 2024 by YouTube creator Rosanna Pansino, who alleges that she received it and confirmed its authenticity with two Mr. Beast employees. I'm gonna cut it short here for a second because I was under the impression that there was a correction that this wasn't an employee handbook, but that it was a production manual, so now I'm confused. This alleged Mr. Beast handbook provides insight into the boys will be boys working conditions that are seemingly promoted by Mr. Donaldson, which, if such Mr. Beast handbook is indeed distributed to Mr. Beast production staff, advises employees really do everything you can to empower the boys when filming and help them make content. Help them be idiots. And if talent wants to draw a on the whiteboard in the video or do something stupid, let them. It then shows a screenshot of that particular paragraph in this employee handbook / production manual / document that's going around, claimed to be distributed to at least some of Mr. Beast employees. At all relevant times on information and belief, defendants' management up to and including senior management and ownership had actual and/or constructive notice that the and harassment detailed herein was occurring within the workplace. Defendants made multiple false statements to the contestants in connection with Beast Games prior to the start of the competition. Defendants falsely advertised that the competition would have 1,000 contestants contestants blank and cut the odds of winning redacted. On March 18th, 2024, Amazon shared the news that MrBeast and Amazon MGM Studios announced the reality competition series Beast Games in large print just under a graphic showing Mr. Donaldson amidst the backdrop, including the Amazon Prime Video and MrBeast logos. Amazon continued that the new show will premiere on Prime Video and is set to become the biggest reality competition series where 1,000 contestants will compete for a $5 million prize. Mr. Donaldson himself also announced that the same day on his MrBeast Twitter account about the Beast Games competition that I'm going to be filming the largest game show in history and releasing it on Prime Video. Over 1,000 contestants, $5 million prize, and many other world records. Accordingly, at all relevant times, defendants Amazon, Off One's Base, and MrBeast held themselves collectively as the creators, promoters, and producers of the Beast Games, and all did so in order to profit from the endeavor. Defendants widely promoted right through the first day of the Beast Games competitions that there would be 1,000 people competing. However, contestants who had traveled blank, having blocked off blank that was required by defendants to compete in Beast Games, only first found out when the competition started that blank, which again, this is what I'm assuming is related to the redaction, is that there was a larger amount of people than 1,000. And the whole point it seems like they're trying to get out here is that this was falsely advertised and people were given hope that they had a 1 in 1,000 chance opposed to maybe a 1 in 5, 10, or however many thousand people there actually allegedly were. This did not sit well with the contestants, who made their feelings known to the New York Times reporter, who reported that right from the start things seemed off. Some contestants said they had originally been told that the competition would have 1,000 participants. This was also the figure advertised by Prime Video earlier this year. The rest is redacted, but it's a quote from a public article. Again, this correlates with what I just mentioned earlier. Defendants misrepresented that reasonable meal needs would be met. The Beast Games production represented in the Beast Games rules packet that the blank would be provided by defendants. Defendants failed to mention, however, that these blank, if they could be called that, would be infrequently provided and insufficient in the number of calories in each meal, where plaintiffs allege by way of example, redacted. Indeed, according to local news reports, multiple countless Beast Games contestants were taken to the hospital, including for dehydration. Scott Robin of Vital Vegas reported that local Desert Springs Hospital had seen countless patients coming from Beast Games due to lack of food and water, and that the production had allegedly denied food to diabetics, denied water to contestants, and at least 2 individuals had seizures as a result. The Beast Games production was so void of standards of reasonable care that MrBeast allegedly offered to cover the contestants' therapy. The foregoing acts by defendants created an environment during Beast Games that was so void of humane standards that defendants ended up volunteering to cover the cost of contestants' therapy. It was that bad. The combination of all of the foregoing created an environment in which the contestants suffered severe emotional distress. Defendants, apparently aware of the severe distress they caused the contestants by their lack of reasonable care in conducting the production, allegedly offered to cover the contestants' therapy. Pansino has reported on alleged contestants informing her that defendants knew it was bad because they also offered to provide therapy sessions using their own insurance. A screenshot of one of Rosanna Pansino's videos was attached, and the video was titled "The News About MrBeast Beast Games is Disturbing," and the timestamp of this screenshot at 4:09 states, "They knew it was bad because they also offered to provide therapy sessions using their own insurance. And it wasn't Amazon Prime that called me, it was the MrBeast crew." There are several more pages that are mostly redacted, so aside from a ton of redacted information, here's what seems to be the biggest highlights from this lawsuit. There are accusations that they have purposefully misclassified, or in other words, lied, about the employment of their contestants to avoid specific employment obligations under California law and to wrongfully receive unearned tax credits from Nevada. He has been accused of failure to pay minimum wages, failure to pay overtime. There are accusations of sexual harassment in the workplace and failure to prevent it or to address it in any way. There have been accusations of failure to provide adequate meals and medications and basic medical necessities to people, and also accusations of not even giving contestants proper meal or rest breaks. And there were accusations accusations of the Mr. Beast team offering to pay for Peach's therapy after realizing how bad the conditions were, along with accusations of falsely advertising the Beast game's production, claiming that there would be 1,000 contestants when redacted information, but there seems that there were more. Overall, this entire legal document was a very interesting read. It is 50 pages long. I'll leave it linked in the description below for you to check out if you are interested. There is so much that has been redacted though, some of it being easily recognizable statements that have already been made publicly in mainstream news outlets. The only other major concern I have with this document is the portion where they mention the employee handbook, because there is a lot of confusion on whether this is an employee handbook or a production manual, because I have heard it being called both, and I was under the assumption that it being a production manual was the correct term for what this was, and now I am confused about it again. Aside from the contents in this lawsuit that I have been reading for the past 35 minutes, there is another accusation made against Mr. Beast, which has been revealed in an article by Dexerto, which stated Mr. Beast's crew member reportedly hospitalized after tower piece falls on them while filming. I'll leave this article linked down below as well. I'm not going to be reading the full thing. I'm going to skip through to the middle, stating, new insights are coming to light after Rolling Stone reporter Stephen A. Sark confirmed a crew member filming the series was hospitalized after an incident that left him injured on set. Is Stephen A. Sark the guy that was in the Onision documentary with the Pokemon shirt? I digress. According to A. Sark, the accident took place at the end of filming on September 11th, 2024, when a 6x6 piece of a tower fell on an unnamed person. At the time of writing, ASARK claims that they are still in the hospital, and a spokesperson for Mr. Beast has reportedly declined to comment on the matter. Listen, I don't know for sure if Mr. Beast has any intention of responding to all of the things that have been coming out about him over the past, 2 months now. There have been rumors that he has been planning a response, but I have no concrete evidence confirming that. But it seems like every 5 minutes, more and more keeps happening. So if he is planning any type of response, I can imagine that his team isn't going to be providing any public comment because he's more than likely working on his 18th draft by now. In the meantime, it seems that he is continuing to post on his YouTube channel. Now, these videos could have been made far in advance, or he just doesn't care and he's still posting because he knows that despite everything going on, he has a dedicated fan base of millions upon millions of people who will still consume his content. The last thing that I want to go over is an update that I actually provided in my mashup video that I have since taken down because pretty much every story in that video is a story I want to cover in greater length. With that being said, I'm going to add that topic that I had put in that mashup into this video in case you missed it. It regards the Dogpack 404 video and a correction that has been made that I think is very important to share as somebody who has discussed this coverage in my first Mr. Beast video. I did want to go over some information that I kind of mentioned a little bit in my last video, which regards the third video that Dogpack 404 made. There was a portion of my video where I discussed an individual accused of DV. Allegedly, he could not confirm it, and in my video I stated, probably not a good idea to accuse somebody of this before absolutely confirming it. There was a part in this video where Dogpack discusses some DV charges against James Warren, but also because there's a bunch of James Warrens in the state that he supposedly lives in, they couldn't confirm that. I don't know if there was some legal reason as to why he worded it that way, but if he truly couldn't confirm that, I think personally that should have been taken out. It should have been confirmed. That's just my opinion. And it turns out that this person did not have any charges of DV like he had assumed that he did. James Warren DV charges update. The 6 North Carolina criminal court cases were not for DV. I still have some Freedom of Information Act requests out, but an alleged current Mr. Beast employee reached out to me giving their side of the story. I think this person is mistaken with a lot of details, but I do now believe the James Warren DV case that circulated the office was most likely the wrong James Warren. Of course, none of my sources knew that. I tried multiple times to get in touch with the person who allegedly quote-unquote found the charges before making my video and did not get a response. I should have waited on the Freedom of Information Act requests before mentioning the DV charges allegations. However, I believe I was clear in my video that they were just allegations of charges. Charges are themselves unproven accusations, not convictions. I am not a professional journalist or investigator. My goal is to just bring credible allegations to spotlight so they can be properly investigated and people can be held accountable. I still believe there are other credible allegations involving James Warren that need to be investigated. So before we get on to the screenshot provided below, I do want to say that this is a very, very big mistake and he definitely should have waited, and saying I'm not a professional journalist or investigator isn't really an excuse for that, because at the end of the day, you put that video out to millions of people to view, and while I do think that some good information did come out of his videos, this specifically is something that should not have happened. Anyway, there's texts that state, "Do you know about the James Warren DV charges?" The response states, "People joke about this, but as far as I know, it's not true. One day we did a Google search in the office to check, but nothing. The originator of the rumors was Jimmy's ex-girlfriend, Maddie Spadell. Between you and me, she's a wine and always wanted to gossip on set. She told me a lot, but everyone has to be nice to her because she was dating Jimmy. If you can't tell by now, Mr. Beast is filled with gossip, rumors, and toxic crap. New rumors every day. I heard Blank found the charges and other corroborated, but okay. What do you know about LaQuia Hill? Blank is a saint. I was very close with her. She was there when we Googled, but that domestic case was another James Warren. Jokes were made, but it wasn't him. Yeah, those quote-unquote jokes seem to convince a lot of people. I've also heard from people who have witnessed James' domestic firsthand. Even though there are so many people coming out with their experiences about Mr. Beast, and there are some serious bombshells that have been dropped regarding Mr. Beast, such as the hiring of people and the way that he allegedly treats other employees and the Mr. Beast game situation in general, there are a lot of serious accusations that I definitely think deserve to be addressed. But when it comes to situations like this, it ultimately can derail this entire situation as a whole. If the other portions of the story are true, which by the way, I've gotten a little bit of flack for saying allegedly, if this is true a lot. I say that for two reasons. One, legally. Two, I can only go off of what is publicly available at the time of making my content. I'm not saying if this is true because I automatically don't believe anybody. I'm saying if this is true because at the current time, information can change or update. And quite frankly, I do believe a lot of the things that have been said about Mr. Beast, and I do think that there were a lot of bombshells in the dog tag videos, and I very eagerly await Mr. Beast's response to them, if he does respond, because who knows, he might not. But if and when he does, or whenever there are any additional extreme developments to the story already, I will be sure to either update you on the situation or make a follow-up video, and I am still working on the Ava Chris Tyson video as well. With that being said, thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end of this video. Thank you so much to everybody who has been supporting me over on Patreon and through memberships.